My name's Tom. Welcome to Living Through Limits. Today we're going to do some stuff around the garage. Got a few projects I've been working on, and one is this 1987 Chevy pickup that is all down here where you can see this. It's all torn apart. I had to pull the engine out. Did that back in November, and finally got it to the machine shop. My dad owned this truck new. My dad passed away back in March, and so this is kind of sentimental to me and my son. We figured we'd get it going. It's probably going to cost us more than the truck's worth, but you know what? It was my dad's. There's the engine block, all machined, ready to be put together. Right down there are the heads, new valve job and stuff. But our project today is to get this lathe that I purchased a while back going. My son-in-law needed to have the part machined, and it's a bearing race out of probably a truck or something, and he wants to convert it into a tool to press bearings. You can see that line in there. He wants it flat from that area here back, and that way he can press in bearings. I think he said for a Honda or something like that. He's a mechanic, an automotive mechanic. Bought this lathe probably back in a year ago or so. Got it put in the garage, and there it sat because I haven't been able to do anything. Project is to get it all cleaned up, get it oiled up. I'm learning on YouTube different ways of doing things. Hopefully I can do this without breaking anything, but it's pretty filthy. I've cleaned up some of it. My job right now is to get that lathe up and working so I can fix this part, and then I'm going to start working on putting my engine together, get my truck back together. As you can see, this garage is tiny. I had built a room in part of my garage, so I've only got, I would say, about 14 feet by maybe 8 feet of a garage. I'd love to have a big shop, but can't afford that. Okay, as you can see, I've cleaned up a bunch of this, so I just got a few tools here, cleaning this thing up, getting it done. I use a brake part cleaner. I cleaned one of the slides over here, the beetroot. Now I'm got to work on the table itself. So we're going to clean that up. Let's show how nasty that thing is. I don't know if you can see down in here. It was pretty gummy. I've cleaned some of this already. This has been cleaned up. It was just full of junk. All the holes, everything was plugged up. I don't think the ways anything has ever been cleaned up. I went through the speed controller, the feed speed controller, re-greased all that. I still got to oil the main bearings on this thing, the head bearings and stuff. Cleaned that whole thing up. I really feel for the guys that do this without a camera guy all the time. It is a pain, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Got my son out pulling weeds, so we're gonna work on cleaning this up. So I just used some. This is CRC brake clean. Works really good. I just spray it on a towel, wipe down what I can, scrape off some of it, try to get the ways cleaned up, get all this stuff. Been using my shop vac so I don't get it all over the shop. You'll notice that I spend a lot of time sitting down and my head's not in the frame, but hey, with my limits in life, I have to do what I can while sitting down because my body just doesn't let me stand up for very long. We'll get cleaning on this thing Get all this all cleaned up. This all cleaned up. The top where this all goes around the ways. Get it all oiled. Get everything nice and shiny again. I still got to learn what cutters to use. All that kind of stuff. Just a learning experience. I wanted to show you this too. I've got this handle right there is really rough edge, and it's enough that it could touch somebody. So I'm going to take some extra time. I'm going to clean that up and probably use a file or something and clean that all up, and then pull this handle off and probably repaint it, get it all cleaned up, because I still got lots to redo over in this area here. Clean all these handles up, move on down the brake, clean that. We still got ways to clean up down there and stuff. So yeah, it's just kind of an update. I'm getting this slowly cleaned up. I'm hoping I have some whey oil coming today to put on the ways here and stuff. Be able to use it on here to get it all nice and lubricated up so I can use it. Hopefully within a day or so I'll have this up and going. Got my ways nice and clean. Got most of the machine nice and clean. Let's see if we can get this adjusted here. Go on down. So now what we're going to do is my whey oil showed up today in a big all 1 gallon can. So now we're going to just set up our first plate. Oh, this thing must weigh like 30 pounds. Got our adjusters, make sure everything's nice and clean. It's got a little bit of wear on here. Yeah, there is a groove in here, but I don't have any way of fixing any of that. So I'm going to stick my whey oil on here. Set this down in here. Ooh, that moves nice and smooth. Now for the adjuster, what we've got, this fits into the D-groove. Got it all cleaned up. We'll oil it just a little bit. I'm just oiling down the initial. This machine has oil passages, but I don't know if they ever used whey oil on this thing. Whey oil is a little stickier than regular, like 30 weight motor oil or whatever. Make sure we don't have any debris in there. And I got to go through the back side. Now it does have a couple of adjusting screws, and one is longer than the other. I just thought I'd show a little bit of the assembly of this lathe, just for the fun of it. And like I said before, if you want to know more about actual adjusting and all that of lathes, there's lots of really good YouTube channels out there that deal with that. Wanted to make this video to show, you know, even though I'm laid up, there are things I can work on. It gives me something to do. I can sit on my chair, and when I get too tired, I just kind of close up the garage and move on to my next thing. I think the screws may be in the wrong spot. They're two different lengths. This one's a little shorter up front that I had in here. I didn't realize that when I took it apart. or I would have marked it. But you live and learn, you know. I'm not in any hurry. I've found that being in a hurry can get you in trouble. Okay, then I've got a set screw that goes down to there. It's kind of weird. I'm used to all standard stuff. This whole machine is metric. What I did is there's a lever here. Let me move the camera down so you can see it. Okay, there's a lever to go from your I don't know the difference between XY and YZ and NYT and all that stuff, all the fancy stuff, but there's two different feeds here. One will feed the back and forth, and one does the in and out. And I had it locked, and it was locked, and it was ready to feed, and we don't want to feed right now. So I didn't do anything really wrong. I did just realize I did something wrong. You know what I did wrong? The top that holds the bit, let's move the camera again, that holds the cutter and stuff up here that rotates and everything. There's two nuts. They're not key nuts, but they fit into a groove, and you got to put them on before you put all this stuff together, or you don't get them on. So these two little nuts are right here, and so we got to get those on there. And see here, it's for this little, get in the camera here, and there's a hole, and you got to get it up in the hole. And what I usually do, I'll tighten that up and then make sure everything still works, and it looks like it does. Tighten this guy back up a little bit. So we have the little V-cut here is tapered, so you just kind of adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some stuff together off camera.